Breaking news now, the LAUSD superintendent to speak about yesterday's fuel dumping that hit students in the Cudahy area. Let's take a listen.
Very unfortunate, but I am very thankful to my teachers, my wonderful district, the city of Cudahy, and everybody that came in yesterday to help us out. Thanks to everyone, and again, first of all, my teachers and my paraprofessionals and my team here at school and our community of schools. The kids were safe. I mean, the paramedics were called, firefighters, they were here within 4 minutes, and the students that were experiencing symptoms were taken care of. The teachers that later on started with symptoms, they were also taken care of. We were covering each other's classes so that teachers could come to see the paramedics. So it was unfortunate, very unfortunate, and it's not an experience that we want for our students or any of us. But thanks to the great support and the immediate response from school police, from firefighters, from our district, everybody was safe and we managed to pull it through and went home very tired, but thank God everybody is fine. Thank you.
Next, I'd like Juan Ramirez from UTLA, our labor partner, just to share a few words. All of our labor partners have worked tirelessly, not just yesterday, but through the night to make sure that the students and all who work here are safe. Juan, if you'd like to add a few words.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Juan Ramirez, and I'm United Teacher Los Angeles. And we've been working closely with the district on this issue, something unexpected in the second day of school. But we're working with the district closely to make sure that everything goes back to normal. At the end of the day, we want the safety of our students and our educators, and we're going to continue working with them until all this is, we go through this stage and make sure that everything is addressed, and we'll go back to normal again. Thank you.
Next, Dr. Cyrus Rangan from County Health. One of the things that we've been working tirelessly side by side with our county health officials is to make sure that we not only cleaned everything appropriately, but that we checked the air quality. And he's here to attest to that and also talk about what we did. Thank you.
Good morning, Dr. Cyrus Rangan. I'm the medical toxicologist with LA County Public Health Department. And we were notified about this incident as it occurred yesterday, and we've been working through the night with our colleagues at the fire department, particularly the Hazardous Materials Division, who's been working overnight to test the air, to make sure the surfaces are cleaned at all the schools that were affected in this incident. When I'd like to address two particular issues. One, of course, is health concerns, which I think is on everybody's mind, and the other is the environmental concerns at the school. So let's talk about health first. It's our understanding that there were a number of people who were affected by this, and for people who came in contact with the fuel as it came onto the properties here or the sites at LAUSD, some people came in contact with it on their skin. Some people had skin irritation, and that was treated on scene. Some people had some upper respiratory irritation that was treated on scene as well. As far as we were informed, there were no hospitalizations after the incident, and people were discharged home based on emergency personnel's assessment here at the school. So that's a good thing, and we don't expect that those kinds of symptoms would persist. Those kinds of symptoms would be expected to dissipate on their own. So that's the good thing that we can say about the health issues. When it comes to any persistent symptoms that anybody may have, if people have persistent skin irritation or persistent upper respiratory irritation, certainly see your medical provider and get assistance there. But we don't expect that we're going to have extensive health effects as a result of this exposure. If people have any of the residual chemicals on their clothes as a result of exposure yesterday, we advise washing those clothes in the standard way that you wash them at home. But if any odors persist on those clothes after washing, we would recommend discarding those clothes, because it can be very difficult to get substances like this out of fabrics, particularly clothing. So those are the health issues that we'd like to address. We'd also like to address the environmental issues at the school. When an incident like this happens, obviously it was quite unprecedented. Nothing like this has ever really happened before in this fashion. So there are always going to be some unknowns. How much fuel actually descended from the sky, where did it land, and in what kinds of areas and concentrations. Those are unknown factors. So when you have unknown factors like that, it's important that when you are addressing the environmental mitigation and cleanup issues, that you go above and beyond. And that's what the school district has done. They certainly have gone above and beyond with an extensive, very comprehensive and thorough cleaning effort at all of the 20-plus sites that were affected, cleaning all exterior surfaces where children may come into contact. One thing that you can say about fuels like this is that they do tend to what we call volatilize or evaporate relatively quickly. But in a situation like this, because of these unknown factors, it's certainly reasonable to say, let's go ahead and clean everything that a child might come in contact with to make absolutely certain that if children are going to be coming back here tomorrow, i.e. right now, that they'll be safe to come back to school. So I can attest to the fact that they've done more than is likely necessary to make sure that the school is going to be a safe place for them to be. So I'll be happy to answer questions afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I would like to ask Dana Dibble from Delta. As I mentioned earlier, it was a Delta flight. Let's put this in some context. There were 165 lives that were at risk, and we're grateful that Delta was able to put the plane back on the ground. It is unfortunate it happened not just in the school community, but all of the school communities that were impacted. And we want to thank Delta for their commitment to making it right. And Dana's here to talk this morning a little bit about that. Thank you.
Sure. Dana Debel, DANADEBEL. Thank you for the opportunity to be here with you today, Austin, and all of you. First and foremost, as Austin spoke to, this was a Flight 89 did experience some challenges in flight and had to declare an emergency and return to LAX in that process, discharging some fuel. But what we're here to talk about today is from yesterday and the response going forward. We worked through the night with LAUSD to partner to make sure that all the schools were safe and available to open this morning for all of the students. And we are going to continue to be here to partner with the community, not just the school district, but the community at large, to make sure that we are addressing the needs of this community going forward. We have also created a 1-800 number with dedicated Delta agents answering that line for members of the community that want to call either with questions or concerns. And just bear with me, I'm going to read that number right now. It's 1-800-441-5955. That's 1-800-441-5955. We have dedicated agents that are bilingual, standing by to answer calls or questions from the community if they feel they were exposed or have concerns about property impacts or those kinds of things. So we are here. We are going to continue to be here and work with everybody, and we're serious about our commitment to this community moving forward. So thank you.
Thank you, Dana. Lastly, Sergio Franco is here. Sergio is our operations coordinator for this part of our school district. He's going to just recap what we had to say for Spanish. Thank you.
Muy buenos días, Sergio Franco. Estoy aquí para decirle a nuestra comunidad que las escuelas afectadas, incluyendo Park, sigue abierta. Le queremos dar muchas gracias al personal del Distrito de Los Ángeles, incluyendo a las otras entidades que nos ayudaron a limpiar las escuelas. Padres, la escuela Park fue limpiada, todas las superficies exteriores, como las mesas, las puertas, fueron lavadas. Tuvimos un equipo que estuvo aquí toda la noche limpiando, inclusive hasta las bicicletas de los niños fueron lavadas, los exteriores fueron lavadas a presión. Entonces les queremos agradecer a todo el equipo de la escuela, al equipo del distrito, inclusive a los maestros que nos ayudaron y a toda la ayuda que nos ha otorgado, no nomás el distrito de Los Ángeles, pero las otras entidades como los bomberos que estuvieron aquí inmediatamente. Muchas gracias, las escuelas siguen abiertas.
With that, we'd be happy to take any questions that there might be. Back to normal. School's clean, students are safe, staff are safe. As was mentioned, we'll continue to monitor and we'll continue to work with the community, our school community, to make sure if there are any lingering effects that we deal with those.
I have a question for the Delta spokesperson. The FAA in a statement said that there are protocols in place for fuel dumps and that they're supposed to be done over a designated
Yeah, so I know that there are a lot of questions about the process that was followed and those kinds of things. There is an ongoing investigation that was opened immediately after the flight landed back at LAX safely. And so we need to let that investigation process proceed. And as that proceeds, we will have additional information we'll be able to provide, but we are not at that point yet.
What exactly happened on that plane that caused the pilot to?
That's part of the investigation process and will be part of what we are able to provide in the future. But as of right now, what we are focused on is making sure that the community knows that we are here and that we are committed to working with them to clean this up and to get this right. Thank you.
All right, if you're just joining us, this has been breaking news. The LAUSD officials from the LAUSD, as well as Delta officials, responding to the jet fuel dump yesterday that hit students in the Cudahy area. They say the school has been cleaned up. The school is back open. All the schools are back open to students, but there is an ongoing investigation. We'll have continuing coverage of this story throughout the day on CBSN Los Angeles.